Okay, so we are going to be looking at the basics of the spider guard now. So I may expand on some things from the intro video on the spider and give you a couple more details. So the first thing that we're going to look at are the sweeps. Now, as I was saying in the intro, the sweeps from the basic fundamental spider guard, like just both feet planted, there aren't as many options for sweeps. You're going to be mainly looking to attack submissions from this spot. So we'll start with the sweeps and get into our subs after. So from the knees first, because the likelihood of you, actually we should turn this way. The likelihood of you hitting a sweep from the basic spider guard while the guy on the feet is very low. We're going to show you one option from there, and it starts from the spider guard, but it's not really a spider guard sweep. So the basic one here is going to be our scissor sweep from the spider guard. So very, very similar in application, just with the addition of having one foot on. So we have to set up first. So we get our cuff grips, we hip escape out, feet to the hips, create a little bit of distance here, one foot on, extend, other foot on, bent. Now, key detail here, this bent side, you can't have your knees pinched together. Okay, this is going to be really dangerous for your hip. It's also weak, and it's really easy for him to clear the foot when you do that. You want to almost put your knees into a split. And then the other thing too, when we're creating tension in this position here, I need to pull strong enough that I can plant my foot hard, but I can't overdo my strength. My leg is going to be more powerful than my grip. So if I start pushing too hard, I'm going to pop my grip eventually. You're also going to gas out. So make sure that you're providing just enough power in the extension and in the pull to be able to maintain the position, but not so much that you're, again, going to gas yourself out or, again, break your own grip. So we always want to start with some basic movement. I don't want to start from a static position for a sweep. So we get our basic side-to-side movement in the spider, nice and smooth. Now what we're going to look for first is just when he has both knees on the floor. So I want to catch him with the momentum of my body coming over. So right now I'm pushing his weight off to this side with this extended leg. As I transition, his weight's going to transfer, and he's going to expect me to push to this side, which helps kind of create the base in the way that won't work out for him. So as I go to the side, I'm going to now drop my foot, and just like a scissor sweep, chop at his knee as I kick his leg over his head. But you don't want to think about it going in a straight plane. You're going to be swinging your hip like you're opening a door with your body. I'm going to be looking behind me. And like a normal scissor sweep, if I can get onto my elbow at the same time, breaking his grip, if that happens, you'll hit your sweep. Now I got up a little bit lackadaisical there. Realistically, when you start to drive on top, you're going to drive your hips and then sit back into the position, not just folding yourself over the knee. So again, start from closed guard. So hip, create space. One foot on, extend, other foot on. Basic movement, back and forth. Now, again, as I transition back, my foot's going to drop. I block his knee and trap, and I just draw a little semicircle over his head, kicking. But if I stay just extended on that, again, flat lane or flat plane, you're not going to have a lot of power. But if I just open my hip up, very similar to a flower sweep, he'll fall. I just bail on my position, and I drive my hips on top. Now, a lot of times, and this depends on style, guys will put one knee up to create base and also to try and attempt at breaking your position. We're not talking about passing just yet. So what happens here is either he takes a very solo Ribeiro, a very strong base, so he's going to put his foot up and then be trying to create base, headquarters, low passing position. Or what he's going to try and do is attack your grip and put themselves almost into a knee through position, because there's a way of clearing the grip by dropping your knee on the cross-side thigh. It'll work both ways. Just the knee cut version is going to be a lot easier to catch. So if he puts one knee up, so Ian, being based from our gym, goes more to a headquarters position. So this will still work, but I could switch and go the other direction away from his base. We're going to keep it heading towards the camera here. So as I transition here, my foot drops, I just block his ankle, and same thing, I kick through. Maybe he tries to staple over top of your leg, but his momentum will be carried. So the other option is if he, the other option is that when he puts his knee up, exactly, it's like he's trying to clear that tension side. He tries to drive his knee down, stapling, and then clear the grip and go through. So I have to react before he gets there. As he's putting the knee down, I switch on him. Create my sweep, get on top, could even attack the arm, but we'll focus on the position. All right, so next one is going to be the momentum sweep. It is essentially the same thing as what we just did. And to be honest, I never go for the scissor sweep, even though it's a little bit more basic. If I'm gonna attempt, I always try and hit the momentum sweep, because you don't have to remove your control. You don't have to remove the tension on the biceps. It's just a little less likely that you're gonna catch the sweep. But when you do get it, it feels very, very nice. So again, this is from the knees. You try and do this to someone on the feet, it's not gonna work. So the guy's fighting from his knees for whatever reason, even one knee up. But from here, again, I'm going back and forth. And then as he thinks I'm going to finish this extension, I'm going to step on his bicep, tucking it, very similar to what I just did with the scissor sweep option. But instead of hitting here, I'm tucking his bicep through, and then I really exaggerate that drive and get the guy to fall. So again, start from close. Actually, start this one a bit. Heel out, create some space, 1 foot on at a time, side to side, and then again, as I'm about to go to the other side, I hit him with my momentum. One more time. Again, if I have enough space, just do that, just do that. A little bit of distance, 1 foot on and the other. So again, side to side, and then hit the guy from on top, bail, drive, and get on top. Okay, last one is going to be the balloon sweep. So there's variations from the De La Riva from this that I wouldn't say are easier. This is probably the easiest. It's a Tominagi essentially. But a lot of guys, when they are on their feet and you're in this position, they start hovering too much, or they start being overly aggressive in the position without actually dealing with the position. They try and beat you with pure pressure, which does not work out well. So from here in this position, if I feel like I can get my feet to his hips, either in that he's walking towards me, if I get him to here, or if I want to set this up. Now we should talk about grip breaks quickly. This is one of the easiest things to deal with. Your leg versus, or your leg and arm versus his one grip. All I have to do, similar to setting up the lasso, is drop my foot, I pull, and I kick at the same time. Make sure you kick towards the outside of his body, so you go towards the pinky and peel away from the strength of his grip. Foot goes to the hip, kick, foot goes to the hip. Always knees on the inside for this position. Now all I have to do is bring him in and lift him up. Okay, now once you have the guy elevated, you can do lots of things, but we want to do the sweep. I look over my shoulder and I need to tuck his hands in and just catch away position. So again, more from here. So he's on his feet. He starts getting a little over anxious or whatever. I catch it. If he keeps his grips on, this is going to be even more awkward for him. So again, I bring him in first and then I elevate. You see he panicked a little bit there. And up on top. One more time. On this side. This time I'll set it up. So again, if he's keeping his hips away, which most guys will do, again, break the grip, foot to the hip. Break the grip, foot to the hip. So again, create tension, action, reaction. I push him away, I feel him push back, I bring him in and elevate. Then from here, just make sure you're not doing this, because then I'm bringing his hands into the post, right? Bring him in, hide his arms, and right over the top. The biggest thing, like any roll, exhale, make sure you're going over your shoulder, not over your neck. Okay, basic balloon sweep. And that essentially is your 3 main sweeps from your standard spider guard before we start adding in the lasso.